We're going to bring the Purell. I'm going to go to the bathroom before we hit there.
Correct. I can't have that. And then the other thing is, a lot of times ranges are really testosterone driven, and women are made to feel uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Names like Sweetie and Toots, or they'll say, "Oh, do you want to look at this gun?" We had Sherry on the show. She went to Gander Mountain with her boyfriend, or she went to Cabela's. She was told, or Tactissi told us that the guy didn't hand the gun to her. He handed it to her guy Chris, because she's the woman and it's the man's job to hand it to the woman.
Right.
So we don't have that. I might be the only range in the country that has a concierge desk with 2 women manning it all the time. And the reason for that is when women walk in with or without men attached to them, they go, "Oh, okay, there's women here. This is cool."
Right. It puts their drops their
guard down, lets them a little more at ease from that point. So I think that's important because, again, you hear me talk on the radio show. The NRA has 5 million members. We're saturated with white guys. We need to reach out to the females. We need to reach out to the minorities. That's our future.
Totally. I did a class this past weekend at someone's house, and it was 6 women. 6 women. I put
wonderful.
I put a pink grip on my J-frame revolver. It was a lot of fun. And you know what I've noticed? Women, when you teach women, they actually pay attention.
I would teach women over men any day of the week. Women focus more. They follow directions. They realize that guns can be dangerous, so they take it a lot more serious. We're guys. We tend to whatever. I watch a YouTube video and I'm ready to rock and roll.
We're good to go.
We have unisex classes that we limit to 6 people. We almost always have at least 1 or 2 women in a class. And then every other week we run ladies only classes that sell out, 6 women in every class.
That's awesome.
And that tells you the future. And for you guys that are listening to the show that might have ranges that don't cater to the females like I do, I just want to remind you that it's 2016. We let them wear shoes. We gave them driver's license. We let them vote. And we even let them work, which means they have their own income. So you probably should start focusing on that market. Just a little marketing hint there for everybody out there.
Oh, that's great, man.
It's true, though. It's true. We have to embrace the females. And then, it's funny. I remember when I was a kid, I'd ask my father if I could do something borderline dangerous. Ask your mother. Okay? So the Reverend Kevin Blanchard always says this, too, that it's the moms that we have to turn because ultimately it's the moms that are making decisions. I don't know if Ken spoke to you about that, did he?
We, you know what? I certainly read it in his book.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was something that came up when I talked to him.
Yeah, and I went to a speaking engagement with him once. We both spoke at a Second Amendment thing, and that stuck in my head. And I always give him credit for it. I don't want to steal anybody else's material, but if we win the hearts and minds of the women who are going to become moms, they're going to be the ones that when the husband wants to take the 8-year-old son or daughter shooting, we want the mom to say to the husband, yes, it's okay to take them. We don't want the mom to have a negative perception of our sport.
Absolutely.
Very important.
It's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Thank you. It's my passion, just like you have your passions. With I'm sure music. You have strong music passions, right?
I do. I certainly spent my time. I spent 10 years playing in a Motown disco funk band. I like to tell people that when they do a class with me that I'm the only firearms instructor they're ever going to have that's opened up for Dolly Parton, opened up for Ray Charles, opened up for Earth, Wind & Fire, and that's performed with Meatloaf.
Wow.
So my background, when people, I don't call guns weapons. I say the mind is the weapon, everything else is a tool. And
very good.
If they're not weapons, they're just tools.
That's interesting. 2 customers were in today. They're in their mid-70s. And one was a professional drummer, studio and touring, and the other one played violin, the female, their husband and wife.
Oh, wow.
And they played for Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, the whole rap pack. Eric Clapton they tour with and everything. And when you listen to the drum intro on New York, New York, that's my buddy Jimmy Young, because I've been to his house and I saw the gold records. So.
Oh, my God.
And
these guys, totally cool.
I've met them out after work, and they could tell some really good stories.
Oh, my God, I can imagine.
And that's one thing about our fraternity is it's so diverse. It knows no boundaries from blue collar to white collar. We in the range, you'll have a neurosurgeon shooting next to someone who drives a tow truck for a living, and they'll converse and let each other try each other's guns.
I got to tell you, I think I've been to the range before, and if there's asking someone about their gun it's a great icebreaker, and it's a great way to make a new friend, and people are more than willing to talk about their gun and what they got and why they got it, and it does this, it does that, it feels a little comfortable when I do this, and I don't know if it's too big for my hands, and literally it's just a great way to make a new friend. And then before you know it, they always say this: you want to try it?
Always. And I talk about that on my radio show too, where if I was walking down the street and somebody asked me for $1, I tell them F off and get a job. But if I'm in the range shooting and if someone in the port next to me asks me what gun I'm shooting, I will hand them my gun with $10 worth of ammo in it and let them shoot it. And if you, Charlie, if you asked me a week later what color they were, what race, what religion, I don't know, and I don't really give a crap.
Don't care. Right.
Because I believe that by us having this bond of firearms and fighting for our Second Amendment rights, we have a common enemy. And so what happens is, because we're fighting that other enemy, we bond together better.
Absolutely.
And you know, my range is extremely diverse. We get alternate lifestyle people here. We have transgenders that shoot in my range. You know, I'm only 14 miles from Manhattan, so we're the cornucopia of people that come to shoot. And listen, it's not my job. I don't care. I really don't. It's not my job to judge what people do in the privacy of their own home. I have a business that's open to the public, and if they're alternate lifestyle or they want to pray, you know, what do they call them? The Pastafarians, the ones that wear the pasta strainer on their head. Have you ever heard of them?
Pastafarians?
Yeah, there is Pastafarians. They wear a pasta strainer on their head.
I thought those were the Italian guys.
No, not Rastafarians, but Pastafarians.
Pastafarian.
And I really don't care. My doors are open to everybody. I treat everybody like family. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And you know what? It's paid off in droves, because we've approximated, we've had about 1.2 million people come through the range.
Wow.
Yeah, we've had 180,000 unique visitors in 4 years. So we have 180,000 names in our database, and then figuring out, you know, we have members that come every day, we have members that come once a week. So taking that average, it puts us way over 1 million. And you know, again, every size, shape, and color, and people bring new shooters to the range all the time and introduce them.
Yeah.
And we allow children 8 years old and up, and everybody is, you know, so excited to shoot. So I just love winning the hearts and minds of people every day.
That's cool. 8 years. I'm not going to say 8 years is young. What I tell people when I teach classes is, I had my son shoot a Mossberg Plinkster when he was 5.
Great gun.
And I had my daughter shoot a Browning Challenger, a 22 semi-auto handgun, when she was 4.
Now, were they outside shooting those 22s? We
were outside, and I had my arms around them. I've got this great picture of my daughter. She's got little bobby socks on. She's got on a pink camo skirt, or skirt, and she's got on a white shawl, and she's got a little curly hair. And my arms are around her. My hands are over her hands. All she's doing is squeezing the trigger. And then every time when my kids were young, every time after we went to the range, I always say, "Hey, let's go get an ice cream." Nice. So I give them a little positive reinforcement there.
I have time. So the other thing is, our rule is 8 years old. Because that's when the ears are fully developed. But we're an indoor range, and there's other people shooting, you know, 308 and 223 in the range too, so as not to damage their ears. We tell all of our customers when they come in that if you have a child, they should wear plugs and muffs. And I recommend they go on like Amazon or something and buy Peltor youth model muffs, because they're a reduced size and they'll get a tighter fit around their ears. A big head like me or you, if you give a child those muffs, they're kind of stretched out a little bit. So you want the maximum seal if possible. So we tell them get Peltor youth muffs and wear plugs as well, and introduce them to shooting. I recommend the same thing. I recommend the rifle, because action beats reaction. An 8-year-old kid can turn fast with a handgun, even a 22. So start them with a rifle. If they exhibit a good level of maturity, pay attention, follow instruction, by the 3rd or 4th visit, start letting them shoot a 22 handgun. Would not be a problem.
It's not. I started the gun safety stuff with my son when he was 4, 5, 6 years old.